What if raw steel could be shaped by hand? Precision versus brute force. One slip ruins the alignment. A rusted channel will be squared. Solid bar stock fused with TIG. A custom bending jig brought to life. But the work starts here. On the scratched surface of the metallist workbench, he clamps the steel channel into the blue vise. Fine metal filings cover the grid. He marks a beveled edge on the reflective steel. The surface must be perfectly clean. Then, the rod meets the long steel bar, ready for the arc. The TIG torch strikes. Intense blue light fills the shop. Steel fuses to steel. Smoke drifts across the perforated table. He positions the bar in the bench clamp. Another weld locks it down. Measure twice. The metal caliper checks the tolerance. Then to the drill press. The bit bites into the metal. Shavings scatter across the base. He carries the board bar back to the blue vise. An angle grinder bites the rough edge. Sparks hit the yellow metallist letters. He slides the heavy hinge assembly into place. Clamped tight, the TIG torch returns. This joint takes the most pressure. The weld has to be deep. He adjusts the bolted mechanism. Checking the pivot. More clamps, more heat. The frame grows heavier by the hour. Final pass with the grinder. Sharp edges disappear. He sets the bar back on the grid. Next comes the yellow level. He lays it across the flat stock, checking for dead flat. 1 degree off, the whole tool fails. The bubble holds steady. A new phase of the build begins. He wears a brown apron now. A yellow rotary brush strips the grime. Metal polish brings out the shine. Then to the white and gray band saw, the blade slices clean through the stock. He marks the next plate with a ruler. The red Metabow drill stands ready. He measures the long strip with yellow tape. The drill punches through the metal. A bench grinder shapes the final curve. More holes drilled down the line. He takes up a hex wrench, tightening the plate marked 100. Another check with the spirit level. True and plumb. The drill press runs again. Shavings pile up on the vise. A blue disc on the grinder deburrs the cut. He cleans the component with the rotary brush. Now the assembly comes together. A metal pipe slides into the heavy bracket. He stops to examine the fit. A custom jig holds the TIG torch steady. He guides the small metal piece into the arc. The grinder shapes a tiny bolt. He drags a scribe across the metal surface, using the table's grid lines for alignment. Another small bracket fused into place. More layout with the scribe. He welds a bolt straight to the plate. The complex assembly moves to the drill press. The bit cuts deep. He inspects a jagged piece of scrap. A hand file smooths the fresh edge. The massive angled structure sits on the table. He adjusts the holding jig. The final structural welds begin. A gloved finger guides the TIG torch cup, sealing the heavy joints forever. Time for the custom mark. He loads the design on the laptop. The green X-Tool laser fires, burning the 50mm R1 mark directly into the steel. The heavy bending jig is finally bolted down. The engraved black plate catches the light. He grabs the heavy handle. He aligns a thin steel bar on the grid. Then, a thick square tube slides into the slot. The mechanism is dialed in. Clearances are tight. The real test begins. He checks the plate thickness with a digital caliper. The flat steel slides into the bending slot. He anchors his stance. He pulls the massive handle. Leverage versus raw steel. The thick plate yields and bends. The custom tool works perfectly. A power drill locks the final pivot bolt. What was rough scrap is now a heavy-duty machine. Raw stock cut to size. Joints fused deep with TIG. A mechanism perfectly calibrated. True power is built, not bought. The tool is ready for the next job.